Nadhotsvam Carnatic Star is one of the biggest events we have, of the biggest competitions slash events we have of the year. And you said, and you were talking about how you were you were the culture head of SV Temple, and you take a really big part in organizing that particular event. Can you tell us some can you give us some information on how hard it is to organize the event, and like the hardships that you have to go through to make it such a good event each year?
Yeah. So first of all, before I talk about my hardships, first of all, the answer should be why I do that. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
because you both are the answer. Because I have seen you both performing in SV Temple during the Nadatsum festival, and I know you both winning so many prizes. I think you were the Carnatic star, and yeah, last year you were the Carnatic star, right? Saipran.
Yeah,
I
Saipan was the
believe so,
Carnatic
So
Star
yeah.
last year.
and yeah, you won many prizes in Ridangam, and you performed concerts there, Sai Prasid as well, right? So honestly, my it's my um, honest statement. I just want to give back to the community in my own capacity. So I have a lot of interest and passion towards this music, and I have seen there is an opportunity where we can go and volunteer, and we can give back to the community. Having said that, now definitely I can say if there is an opportunity and I need somebody who can accompany, my first call goes to proceed, and I will check with your site right now and proceed. Like, are you guys available and accompany? But how it happened, it won't happen overnight. It will take all this process. It will take years of practice, years of learning, years of commitment and perseverance, right?
Hmm.
Right.
So all these things will go behind the screen. So having said that, we all need to come together and develop our own community. So that is the simple answer. Why, like, why I started putting my heart there, why I started volunteering there, just to give back to the community. And we are also part of the community. Community is not
Right.
that it's something separate from us. No, we are living
Right.
here, so we are part of the community. If the community grows, we grow. That's the only thing, period. So now
Right. Right.
if I go into details of it, yeah, absolutely, it goes tons of work goes behind the screen. For example, the planning at least goes 6 months in advance, because Shashi sir and Ganesh ji, they have to come and conduct these competitions and perform concerts, all those things, right? So we
Right. Right.
generally start almost like 6 to 8 months in advance, and finalizing the dates, and checking who are uh, the visiting Vidvans who will be performing,
Right.
and who are available for the judging and all those things. So
Right.
apart from all that planning, execution, the challenges comes with the execution, because it's like we are all volunteers, right?
Mhm.
We are not
Right.
getting paid, first of all. So we are all volunteers. So volunteers, it it has to come from the heart. So with very few dedicated volunteers, I can say hi. I think 6 to 8 volunteers. We execute this Nadasan festival successfully year over years. So this is last year was 10th year actually.
Right.
Started
Right.
in
Right.
12. I think last year we completed 10 years, and you know it's just amazing. So see the from the starting from the planning, and starting, I mean, then executing with a very limited volunteers, with with around 200 participants. Definitely it's a challenging, but like with the dedicated people, we have our own processes, right? Sending invitations, sending emails in advance, saying that these are all the procedures,
Yeah.
these are all the guidelines. You go and register, and sending the emails to all the parents, and right, encouraging everyone, all the teachers, reaching out to various teachers here in Minneapolis, and requesting all of them to be part of this music festival. So it's a great journey, I can say. Yeah, a lot of work goes behind this.
Right. And adding on to your, the organization for the entire program, we also see a variety of artists, prominent artists that come to Minnesota that we've not seen in a really long time.
Yeah.
And so tell us about that. How are you able to bring, like, one year I believe you brought Manargudi Eastern sir, and you brought Dr. Balamuri Krishna sir one year as well. So all these artists, how are you able to, bring them to Minnesota?
Uh, so I don't want to take any credit for that, because majority of the planning will be done by group of persons. So I would like to call out the people behind. I think you are talking especially with Nagarson, right? In the
Yeah.
aspect of Nagarson, right? Yeah. So as I said, right, the founders of the SP Temple, Josna Reddy garu and Madhu garu, and also the executive, the committee where we execute, right? So we have Shishkiran Garu and Ganesh Garu, and we have also Vishala, who is our cultural chairperson, and me, the cultural lead. So we all go together. We go to a room and see what are all possible options. So how we can bring variety. So having said that, as you rightly pointed, right? So Balamurali sir, he was planning to tour, I think 2015 or 2016, if I don't
I think somewhere around there. Yeah.
around that period, right? So we came to know that he was touring. Then immediately, we got in touch with his manager and figured out whether we can bring him here to Minneapolis and keep that event as part of Nagarjuna. So as I said, it's a cumulative effort, and we all will plan and see who is visiting. Actually, the best part, Sai Pranav, I think I can recollect. We conduct this Nagarjuna Music Festival right after the Cleveland Aradhana event.
Mm,
So if
right.
you see the Cleveland Aradhana event happens sometime in March, April timeframe, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is where honestly the majority of the Vidwans touring across many cities in United States. So
right, right.
and as Shashi sir, he has uh, contacts with all those Vidwans, and as we executive committee, we all will meet and see what possible options we have, and we'll reach out to them and bring those audience. Bring
Right.
those Vidwans to our festival, music festivals. But we always, as you rightly said, we always want to bring some variety, right? So, we also wanted to bring Aruna Sairamji 2 years ago. In fact, the dates, they were clashing and we couldn't get her dates. So yeah, so we always wanted to maintain that balance, bring some senior artists at the same time, give opportunity to the upcoming artists as well. Yeah.
Yeah. We I think we actually forgot a question. Along the way, we actually forgot to ask for any favorite experiences with your gurus. Any one of them, each or all of them, like just one favorite experience that you had with your gurus.
You're asking favorite experience?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
One memorable
memorable or
one.
favorite.
Uh,
Yeah.
I have tons of experiences, honestly. So ever since childhood, I should give one example. That way, I can at least say thank you to my teachers and gurus through this forum. So Krishnaveni madam, when I started learning from her, right? So she organized a small event in that small village to showcase the talent. So I
Mhm.
performed during that talent show when I was, I think, seventh grade or eighth grade. That's where I started interest towards performing this art form. So thanks to her. So that's why all our parents, their intention is to introduce this divine art form at a younger age. So that way, Sai Pranav and Prasi, we both are very blessed. Thanks to you should say thanks to your parents and gurus. You're so
Yeah.
fortunate to learn from the childhood. So that was my experience. That gave me motivation to pursue this art form. Uh, when I moved to Minneapolis, as I said, right. So I started learning from Vinod Krishnanji and Pardu sir at the same time. So I had great experiences with them as well. So in Hindu Mandir, they organize. I think it's for the Basanta Panchami. I think they organize Sangita Seva in
Right.
front of Goddess Saraswati. So for Basanta Panchami. So in one of the occasions, I performed with Vinodji during that Devi Sangita Samarpana, and also have tons of memorable experience with my guru Pardun Yamani sir. In fact, I organized many concerts, many workshops of Pardun Yamani sir here in Minneapolis. In fact, we did the event is, I think, super, what is that? Minneapolis Super Singing Superstar or Singing Super
Yeah.
something. I forgot. I think Super Singer. Yeah, sorry,
Super singer.
Super
Super.
Singer. So we organized 2 consecutive years, 2 seasons. Super Singer season 1, Super Singer season 2 with Arjun Emani sir and had a very memorable experience with him. And then moving on to, as I shared about other gurus, Ganesh ji, Chitravina Ganesh ji. Last year, I hosted him, and through Manam, we organized his Chitravina concert in SV Temple.
Right, right.
That's a memorable experience. It was amazing. The Chitravina concert by Ganesh ji. I organized, being his student. I fondly remember that experience. And Lakshmi Murthy ji's last year she was here. She was touring here in US. So we arranged. I think it's a very unique event called Bhadrachala Ramadas Aradhana. So we arranged Bhadrachala Ramadas Aradhana in SV Temple again, and I performed with her, with my guru. So it's a devotional event where we
Mm-hmm.
performed all the Navaratna Kritis of Bhadrachal Ramadasa, and I performed with her. So I had very fond memories with all my gurus. In fact, yeah. In fact, as I recently said, right, I've been learning devotional music from Pandavati Jyotirmay Garu also. So she taught me some Sankirtanams, Annamacharya Sankirtanams, and I think last Saturday, yeah, September 12th, I performed for Pittsburgh SV Temple. I performed a virtual concert over Zoom, and whatever the new Sankirtanams that I learned from her, I presented during that Sangeet Harpanam. So it's all I can say. It's all my guru's grace, and I've been learning, and it's a great opportunity to learn from them. And all these will remain as great memories, right? As we,
Right, right, right.
yeah. So yeah, thanks for asking me those. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful memories.
So, when you were talking about experiences, you also mentioned Manam, and that was like a recent organization, a nonprofit organization that you initiated. So tell us a little bit about that. I believe we went to one of your concerts, which had Srimati Shiranjani Sandanagopalan.
Did two,
So
Yeah.
2 years
And
ago.
there was also the concert with Murari sir and
That, yeah,
Murari
absolutely.
sir and
So yeah, I should share my experiences with Manam and how it all started. So I think 3 years ago, I started organizing chamber concerts at my place, in my home. So
yeah,
organized concerts, our own talent, Nandini Sridhar.
yeah, Nandini Shidhar.
Started that was my, in fact, organizing her concert. I think 2017, somewhere in June, July timeframe, we organized her concert. Starting with that, then I realized that unless I have community support, it will be difficult to sustain this sampradayam going forward. As I said, right, living here, we are also part of the community. So that's where, I thought, like, if we can bring more people together and make it as a community event where we can, contribute little more. So with that thought, I along with my friend Sahari, so we started a organization called Manam, M-A-N-A-M. Manam means in Telugu, we
Mm-hmm.
together. So
We.
we what we can do together. So with that concept, we started, and we started that organization. And yeah, again, by divine grace, we organized ample. I think 3 4 concerts we definitely organized
Yeah,
over last 2 3 years. So yeah,
yeah. I can remember Murari sir, KVS Vinayana, and
exactly.
Sriranjani Santana Gopal.
Exactly. And in fact, last year, my guru is Chitramani Ganesh, he says,
Oh,
so yeah,
right, right,
right.
right.
yeah, we organized. Yeah, yeah.
And Manam does have a website, right?
Yeah,
Manam,
yeah, Manam,
there's a website.
yeah, Manam.
So we will link the website down in the description. Please go check out the website and check out all the
Yeah,
information about Manam.
yeah, sure to say.
Well, you're before we were talking about guru and sishya and experiences, right? So you yourself are a teacher. Um, can you tell us about your school and
Yeah,
how the teaching process works for you? How what type of what does teaching mean to you, and how
yeah,
how it basically influenced your Carnatic music?
yeah. Thank you. That's a great question, Prasid. In fact, 3 years ago, I started my music academy. It's called Suswara Music Academy. which
Suswala
Suswanam SMA. So it goes with
SMA.
SMA, Suswanam Music Academy.
Suswala.
So yeah, the Swana means sound.
Swana.
Suswana means it's like Onkar, the sound that is coming out of our throat,
Okay.
right? So
Mm.
Suswanama, it's a which is Mangala Pradhamana sound. So which is like Onkaram, or you can take anything with that aspect. So my music academy's name is Suswana Music Academy. Um, then the reason I started this music academy, in fact, like no, as I said, I have two daughters, so we have to have this culture right from our home. So I've been learning and I've been performing, but of all that, the main important thing is to learn, and to learn by following the proper procedures and following all the processes, right? End result is different. Don't worry. Don't think even about the result, whether you go and perform in Madras Music Academy, whether you go and perform in SV Temple, whether you go and perform in a chamber concert. That's the end result, end goal. Never even think about the end result, right? But your focus should be on learning, right? So that's the main aspiration, or the main uh, the important thing in starting the music academy was I wanted to inculcate that to my daughters from their from their second grade or third grade, whatever it is. Without that intention, with that intention, I started this music academy and I started teaching my daughters. My daughter, my elder daughter, she's now in seventh grade, by the way. So during that process, I got requests from my friends to teach their daughters and their kids. So I accepted their invitations and started teaching them, and that's all it started. And as I keep telling, the divine grace, we never know um, what are His plans for me. So I putting I started teaching um, with my heart into it. So year over year, I think the students grow up and they are doing exceptionally well, and they are learning with a lot of interest and following all the procedures, and yeah, they're all definitely improving year over by year, and that's how it started.
Wow, that's really nice to hear. Especially for us, we've also had that kind of a similar experience where our gurus show us the way
Well,
and
yeah,
about all that. So now, talking about kids and gurus and all that, especially kids, we ourselves have favorite artists that we like to listen to. So how about you? Like when you were growing up, what artists did you fondly listen to? And even now, who do you still like to listen to?
yeah. So that's a great question. So I think let me answer. Right now, I've been listening to Rajani Gayatri. Rajani Gayatri, they're my favorite artists. So I've been listening to their concerts for last, I think, 5 to 6 years, definitely, with a lot of interest and a lot of passion about their singing. So the reason also I would like to talk about it briefly. Uh, as I said, what kind of music, whatever may be the form, whether it's light music, whether it's devotional music, or whether it's classical music, or you can call it a Carnatic music, whatever it is. End of the day, the goal is the bhakti and bhavam. Okay, because I would like to share my own perception of this classical music. So Tyagaraja Swami said, right? You know how he lived a life, right? In
Yes.
1800th century,
Yeah.
he lived by doing unchavruti,
Yeah.
right? We all know what is unchavruti. So he used to do that unchavruti and he lived. So he said, "Hmm, Bhakti बीच मीयवे Rama Bhakti बीच मीयवे." That we all know,
Yeah.
Kriti,
Beautiful.
Tyagaraja
Beautiful. Yeah.
Swami, right? We all know Bhakti बीच मीयवे. And you see what he said, Bhakti bicha miyave. And we all know the Annamacharya Sankirtans. There are many Annamacharya Sankirtans, but one of the Sankirtan it says, It's in Malay Madhukam. Bhakti Kuladi Vade Paramatmudu Bhukti Mukti Tanehichu Bhuvi Paramatmudu Bhakti Kuladi Vade Paramatmudu. Okay, and
Nice.
Annamachari is also talking about bhakti and devotion, right? And again, one more kriti of Tyagaraja Swami says, Bhajana Seve Manasa, Parama Bhaktito. That you all know, right? It's in Kalyan. So if you take all these things, okay, so the main important crux of any classical music, what may be the form, devotion, classical, Carnatic, is the bhakti. So
Right.
if you see the concepts of Ranjani Gayatri, there I can say like I can definitely see the devotion, the bhakti there itself, and they sing so well. The ragam tanam pallavi and their technical aspects, they're amazing. At the same time, the bhakti bhavam will be throughout their singing. Throughout the concert, you can see the devotion. So that's a great aspect of their singing. So amazing artist, Ranjini Gayatri. At the same time, like as you asked, how I grew up, like MS Amma. No doubt about
Yeah,
it, right?
of course.
We
Yeah.
all know the legacy of MS Amma.
Yes.
I've been listening to uh,
One of the
great,
greatest. Yeah.
exact, greatest, and the Amma's MS Amma's Vishnu Sahasranamam, starting from Vishnu Sahasranamam, and starting from Venkateshwara Suprabhatam. That's where like it's always like you can I can still like it still rings in my ears. So MS Amma, so I've been grew up listening to her great compositions and her great singing. So it's a journey. Yeah. And I would like
Amazing.
to share about a few more artists who have definitely like influenced me. Recently, I think 6 months ago, I've seen a video. I don't know whether you know Sripada Pinakapani, Sripada Pinakapani garu, and
I
do you
think
know?
I've heard. I've
Yeah,
heard.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sripada Pinakapani garu, he was a doctor from Guntur, from Andhra Pradesh. Great music scholar, by the way, and like I think he was on his like final days. He was around 95, 90 plus. Okay, and he was on the bed. He was teaching a song. He was teaching a kriti to his student, and the student, he was 80 years old. The person who was learning, he's a stalwart. So see the passion that you can see till the last minute, till the last breath you can learn. That is the great aspect. That's a great thing. As a human being, we all need to understand, so we can learn till our last breath. So given an opportunity, like if you ask me, I want to be a performer, I want to be a teacher, I want to be whatever, I want to be a student. I want to be a student till my last day, because there is so much to learn, right? It's a music, it's a ocean,
Right.
and you can learn as you learn more. Like you realize that you don't know anything, then you can learn more. Then if you learn more, then you can again realize that there is again like so many things that you still need to learn. So yeah, that's a great aspect of this music. So again, like as I keep telling, right, so the Sripada Pinakapani garu, so they're all great artists. I've been listening to Sripada Pinakapani garu of late. I've been listening to Pantula Ramagaru. I've been listening to Oreti Venkateswarlu garu. Great artists, yeah.
Yeah.
And Sanjay Subramanian garu, and yeah, great artist. Today only I heard T.M. Krishna's concert actually. He was performing Todi Ragam. So these are all great artists, and we should always thank YouTube also. Previously, it was not accessible. Now everything is accessible by click of button, right? Everything is in YouTube.
Right.
We can go and watch, and we can listen to it.
Yeah, especially the technological like disadvantages back in your time, like back in like the 80s and the 90s. So it wasn't quite like accessible like you said as it is now. So it's really a nice thing how the internet and the technology is advancing.
Exactly,
So it's really nice.
exactly.
So I think we've covered this topic probably indirectly through our other questions, but like, could you tell us what made you pursue Carnatic music? Like what gave you that I guess that push?
Drive.
That's a great question, Sai Pranav. Simple answer is the profoundness and the intensity. I always look for two things in my life: profoundness and intensity. I think you know what is profoundness and what is intensity. I don't need to explain that. So these two things, these two aspects are very, very important, whoever it may be. So if you take an example, Carnatic music, right? What a profoundness it has got. So my guru says, I am ardent follower of Jaggi Vasudevji. He's the founder of Isha Foundation. And in one of the satsangs, he said Carnatic music, it was designed in such a way that it aligns all the chakras in a human body. That's why when you perform, you feel um, like you feel like your energy at its peak, right? So that's because your chakras are right. They're they're all um, how I can say is yeah, you touch to the source in you by through Carnatic music, through this classical music art form, and the intensity take from take take a Kriti or Kirtanam it is, and see the intensity. If you see a like in a professional concert, you see their Ragam Thanam Pallavi, you see the Ragam they are singing. Take any example of a Kalyani Ragam, see the Ragam they sing and see the Kriti or Kirtanam they perform, and towards that, they will do Naraval, they do Kalpanaswaram, and see the intensity with the aesthetics along with the Mridangam, violin, and Kanjira, and when they bring all this together, the profoundness and the intensity that it creates, it's unparalleled, right? You can't sometimes I don't have words to describe the magic it creates, right? So
Right.
that probably magic is a small word. That's why I keep telling, right, the intensity and profoundness that I found in this Indian classical music, I didn't find anywhere. I'm an IT consultant for last 20 years, so I've been working on various technologies for my livelihood. Music is my it's passion. It's beyond passion. It's part of my life right now. So it's my life. I can say that. But for my living, I'm work on technology, IT consultant, right? So over years, right, if you perform on one technology, you can gain expertise and you can perform. And there are also limitations, right? If you work for a client, whatever the work it's needed, you can use technology up to that and you can leave it. Beyond that, you can't use it. But Indian classical music is not like that. Take a Carnatic music. Is there a end to it? If you start
Right,
doing Kalpanaswaram, you can do
right,
for hours, 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 and
right, right,
with all the three octaves, right? You can go to,
right, right,
you can go beyond that also, right? You
right,
can
right,
go. It's up to your creativity and it's up to your passion and it's up to your interest, right?
Right.
So there is no end to it. It's like it's an ocean. It's an ocean, and I want to tell you, and you both are very fortunate that way because Prasid and Sai Pranav, getting right guru and learning during the childhood, it's a very, very important because it's you need to have a direction. If you have the direction since your childhood, your life will be amazing, right? You will uh, I mean, it will be challenging sometimes because you now you'll be getting into school and pursuing the college and studies and then career and all that. But as you have this bijam or from very beginning, right? Then you can keep this as part of your life and take it to the next level during your college and all that. You don't please don't leave this. Please don't leave this art form. You continue it. And one thing then I can vouch for. Okay, I don't know where the end result, where you go and perform. I don't know. But the important thing is the the important thing for everyone in the life is to be happy, to be joyful, right? The
Yeah.
music, this Carnatic music gives you the joy. Ultimately, whatever you do, wherever you go, whatever you pursue, the end result is you need to be joyful in your life, right? So this music will give that joy. And I am the proof. If you need any proof, I am the proof. Because it's like with IT consultancy work and with the family, with kids, and so much going on, volunteering, and all those things, music keeps me very happy. So I don't have a short answer to your question, Sai Pranav, but I can say the profoundness and the intensity that this music art form gives me, gives anyone. It's just amazing. It's unparalleled. You can't like put it anything next to it and say, yeah, this is what. No, it has to be experienced. We cannot put it in words. It has to be experienced. So that's all I can share.
Yeah, yeah. That's really nice, Venkat uncle. Um, I think we've come to a conclusion point. I I think on me and Sai Pranav and I's behalf, we'd like to thank you for coming on the show, Venkat uncle.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time. And I think I'll wrap up with one more question.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a teacher, and you've probably given advice to your students on how to practice or how to do stuff, how to pursue Carnatic music. But to the majority of kids in Carnatic music, can you give us some advice on um how to, like, if we're struggling, how we can cope, or
Yeah.
just to be a better learner and be a better Carnatic musician?
Yeah, that's a great question, Prasid. That's a really great question. Because there are few things that I always wanted to give an advice. Like for example, take a Tyagaraja's composition, right? So he composed many of kritis, right, in Telugu. It's majorly in Telugu, right? So for non-Telugu speaking people, singing Tyagaraja Kriti is challenging. Definitely, there is no doubt about it, right? But we have access to great teachers, right? We are all learning from teachers, right? So my sincere advice is, okay, take for example, like Tulasi Dalamnuche, right? Prasid, I know you sing, and
Yeah.
whatever Kriti, take an example. So make sure how to pronounce the word, make sure what is the meaning of the word, what is the kriti say, right? What's the gist of the kriti, right? So we all learn. Technically, we all learn. But my advice is also know the bhavam, know the context of the song. Why Tyagaraja Swami composed like this, right? What made him compose like this, right? So, for example, take Nidhi Chala Sukuma, right? So we know that Kirtanam very well. But what he's saying is Nidhi Chala Sukuma. That means is that money is what end of the day is money after all, right? Is that money is the only thing? No, right? There is a devotion, Rama Bhakti, and all he's talking about. So know the context of the song. Why he has composer like that? What is the meaning of the uh, meaning, or what's the gist of the kriti? Then uh, how to pronounce. For example, for me the challenge is. I mean, it's not only advice, right? I also need to, like, learn and learn. As I said, right? The best thing is we can be a student throughout our life. So, especially when I learn Tamil compositions, I struggle because I don't know the language. I don't know the language. Let me be honest with you. I don't know the language. But when I learn Tamil composition, I always ask my guru how to pronounce the word, what is the meaning of the word. And thanks to all my great teachers, so they explain this is how you have to pronounce word. I keep improving my pronounce, like how to pronounce those words. I understand the meaning, the context. And apart from that, my sincere advice is, as I said, I vouch for that. This gives so much joy to you, so don't leave this art form, right? Generally what happens is you learn up to your 10th grade, or up to you learn up to 12th grade, then you go to college. Then, don't leave that. Even if you go to college, you look at me, right? um, I'm a family man, I have a job, but I'm still performing. So make this part of your life. Make this part of your life. It's a big quote, but make this part of your life, then you will be happy. So that's my advice to all students. uh, Please learn Carnatic music. Start this journey as early as possible. We have great gurus, great teachers. We should go and learn from them and seek their guidance, seek their inputs, and learn from their challenges, right? Then that will make you definitely a great human being. And end of the day, that will make you a very joyful human being. That's all important, right? The most important thing in life is to be joyful, and this art form gives you that joy, no doubt about it. So my blessings, and um, My best wishes to you, you both, and I'm sure you both do very well in your life. So God bless you both.
Thank you so much, Uncle.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Venkat and Cool.
start.
You heard it, guys. The big takeaway is to not let go of the art form, and like Venkat and Cool said, keep pursuing, keep working hard. And we'd like to thank you again, Venkat Uncle, for taking the time in your day to come
Yeah,
on this podcast and give your experiences, give your thoughts. It's very helpful for the new generation, and it's a very good thing to hear.
yeah,
Thank you guys for listening. Please make sure to go subscribe to the channel and like the video. Also, make sure to go check out our social links, which will be down in the description for updates on the podcast and some maybe little tidbits of what we're going to do. Thank you guys for listening.
It's the Bros signing off.